People it up. Let's get Bryce Young some weapons. And what a better place to go shopping than this year's NFL draft. Johnny Watch Panthers Sports with Phil Perkins. It is draft season, baby. This is the Carolina Panthers' time to shine, as they have been for the last couple of years. Oh my gosh, it's so disappointing. But the Panthers find themselves with the 33rd overall pick, the first overall pick in the second round. And there are multiple places the Panthers can go, but this time we're going to be focusing on the wide receiver position, arguably the deepest wide receiver draft in the last couple of years. And we have seen in the last couple of years as well, rookie wide receivers, not named Terrace Marshall, Jonathan Mingo, completely explode in their first year in the league. And there is no better draft class right now. There are guys who are going to be in the second round who any other year could have been in the first round. And I can feel it that they are going to make immediate impacts with the Carolina Panthers, assuming also they add in free agency as well. So who better to talk about and break down with the analytical mind, the beautiful mind that is Jared Feinberg. You can find him on X at JRod NFL Draft. This is his life. I wouldn't say it's his life. I'm not speaking for him, but I've been following this guy. I'm sure you have as well on X for quite some time. I love the way he thinks. I love the way he evaluates players. You can also watch his and read his articles on Cat Crave. The guy does 7-round mock drafts. He gives his analysis. He does pre-draft, post-draft, talking about guys that are attainable at 33 overall or later. So if you want to get smarter, you want to get primed up for the NFL draft, you want to watch these. Let's start with the Texas guys. It's rare that we talk about Texas receivers. I think the last time I even thought about a Texas receiver was maybe I think his name was Michael Huff, unless he was a safety. I don't remember. But let's talk about Xavier Worthy. This is a guy who I think adds that extreme speed to the Carolina Panthers if he's brought onto the squad. He's not undersized, but he's not a gigantic human being. What are your thoughts, Jared Feinberg, on Xavier Worthy out of Texas?
Xavier Worthy is someone that I like in this process. And you look at what he displays on tape, it's that game-breaking ability. He has that rare speed and explosiveness. Once he turns on the jets, he's going to run away from defenders. He's going to break pursuit angles. He's going to win in space. He's that type of player. And I look at Xavier Worthy and I'm like, if you can get your hands on this guy, this is going to be a great player at the next level. I do have a second round grade on him, like a solid mid-second round grade. That's just kind of how my grading system works. But I have high regards for this player. And, you know, this could be someone that could see his stock increase significantly after the combine this weekend. He runs a very fast 40-yard dash, and he has a great or surprisingly good measurements, and also, has great drills or great times during his drill, has a great vertical jump. Like, his stock could explode, which means we may not even see him at 33, unfortunately. But with Worthy, he's not just a speed guy. He can win with route running ability on all three levels. Some of the tape I watched has great hip sinkage. He's going to sink his hips quickly, stop and go ability that you love to see out of these quick, fast receivers. This is a playmaker at the next level. This is someone that with the right team, he's going to be a playmaker. I am so excited to see Xavier Worthy at the next level. But we look at Xavier Worthy, we look at the strengths, but also we have to acknowledge some of the concerns.
Absolutely. We're being fair here.
Yes, we have to be fair. Absolutely. Yeah. There are drop concerns that did improve over time, but I think that's something that we have to keep an eye on, especially during his rookie year and throughout his career. Can he improve his ball skills in terms of being able to consistently come down with passes that you should routinely come down with as a receiver? There are some concerns about his size. He's 6'1", 165 as of right now before his measurements here at the combine. That's going to be a concern for any team. There's going to be durability concerns. He doesn't do well against physical press man coverage. He's going to struggle against physical corners. Like, he's going to struggle against that physicality. And Trevor, I want to shout out Trevor Sekema of Pro Football Focus. Great guy. Love him. And he was talking about this about Xavier Worthy months ago. I think they're in summer scouting, and I think it still applies to Worthy as a prospect right now. anytime he gets hit, it looks like it's like the biggest hit in the world. Like
Explodes.
he like it looks like he's just flailing all over the place. You're like, oh my god, did he just hurt? Did he just get hurt? You know, he did. I believe he did have that ankle injury late in the season that did affect him a little bit. But I believe he was able to play in the college football playoff. Not that it really made that much of a difference considering they did lose to Washington, but Xavier Worthy, there are going to be durability concerns, drops concerns, you know, consistency against physical press man coverage. Those are the concerns you're going to have with a player like Xavier Worthy. But if he's there at 33,
I find that those really fast guys like a Ted Ginn, it's almost like their body's too fast for their hands. Sometimes they don't know what to do, and they have that drop. They don't know what to do next. They got to open. Now the ball's there, and I just feel like it kind of overwhelms them a little bit. But we are seeing a bit of a renaissance with those skinny wide receivers like the Devontae Smiths out there. But I know what you mean. The durability issue. I think we're used to that with our current quarterback.
Yeah, and there were times where there were concentration drops. I think that's been basically like the biggest issue in terms of overall drops. Like he'll have drops where he's just catching the ball and then looking upfield too quickly, and he just isn't able to corral. You know, but he just has simple concentration drops where he's wide open. He drops the ball. Saw that a couple of times throughout his career at Texas. But again, he improved with each season. I think he improved in terms of his ball skills overall. Tracks the ball very well downfield. This is a player that I'm excited for at the next level, wherever he goes. And for the Panthers, they're getting someone that they desperately need, a game-changing game or playmaker. You know, that's what they need. They need speed. They need route running ability on all three levels, someone that can separate at all three levels. And that's Xavier Worthy, but he doesn't provide that prototypical skill set you look for at wide receiver. But at the same time, the game is changing. They're going to be you're going to see teams wanting to have more Tyreek Hills, more Jalen Waddles, more of those explosive type of receivers.
But Adin Mitchell, his teammate, bit of a bigger body. How does he differentiate himself from someone like Worthy?
I think he's that true prototypical XZ wide receiver, someone that can win on the boundary consistently, especially against more physical corners. Like Mitchell is, in my opinion, one of the better receivers in this draft class. And he's one of my favorite prospects overall. When I first started watching Mitchell's tape, I'm like, all right, I need to know what I'm getting with Mitchell. I've heard some consistency issues, and there were some. And at times there were, you know, some lack of effort on the backside of plays, especially when he knew he wasn't getting the ball. It seemed a little bit like I was watching George Pickens again, but this is different than George Pickens. Pickens has shown like tremendous growth as a receiver, and he's already becoming one of the better players at his position. But when I look at Mitchell, I see that potential to be one of the better receivers in the game just because of what he brings overall to the table. He's a great route runner. He's got great ball skills, tracks the ball very well, wins contested catches. He is so fluid, so smooth in his routes, and very deliberate as a route runner. There's so much potential overall with him as a player. Overall, there are some consistency issues with his game overall. Like he'll have some drops on occasion. He'll have some issues with not running the route as more deliberately as you want him to be, or you want him to run that route. But at the same time, I look at Mitchell, I'm like, if this guy is able to get a chance to start at this level or at the next level, be a day one receiver, he's going to produce. And once he gets with that NFL coaching, he's going to be a star. Right. Love what he brings to the table. I have some notes here that I want to share about Mitchell. If my computer will load, but with Mitchell, it's laptops are a pain in the butt, especially if they're older.
I'm on my iPhone right now. Like this is how I shoot. Don't worry, this is not live, so I'm going to edit everything all together anyways.
Perfect. Yeah, so some of the notes I have, he's 6'4", 196. Mitchell, that's their prototypical size, good frame, incredible fluidity and flexibility. He's got twitch that you look at the position, especially with receivers nowadays. Good quickness, twitch, and has the athleticism to threaten defenses at all three levels. Good route runner, plays with great tempo, quality ball skills, incredible body control as a receiver overall. I mean, we've seen what he's done in the playoffs over the last few years, especially with Georgia. Like, he's going to come down with some incredible catches. And throughout his career at Georgia, at Texas, he's made some incredible plays at the ball. Incredible sideline awareness, has great physicality on all three levels, play strength, flashes great ball tracking ability. He has a long speed and burst that can help him win at the next level. But again, most of my concerns come down to consistency and effort. And I think once he gets those two things nailed down, and I'm not saying that Mitchell doesn't play with effort every play. It's just in some instances, there have been times where he's like kind of being a little lackadaisical, but not, and again, not saying this doesn't make Mitchell a bad player.
Right.
Mitchell is a terrific prospect, especially in this receiver class that is one of the deepest we've seen in years. I look at Mitchell and I'm like, how can he not be a number one wide receiver down the road? He could be the Panthers' number one wide receiver potentially at the end of the year. This is the type of player you want for the Panthers, like, and especially for more of a for I would probably say a fit for Bryce Young. Bryce Young is not going to beat you vertically with his arm. That's not his game. His game is he's going to tear you apart underneath and in the intermediate. And sure, he needs to improve his consistency down the field. That will come over time, and hopefully that will improve this year. But with Bryce, Mitchell would be a perfect fit for him. And some of the receivers we'll talk about today, and especially as we continue to talk, Mitchell is one of those guys that can fit Bryce and fit him well.